All right. Hey, Abe. It's sorry everybody for being a couple minutes late. We're 2 minutes late, and usually blame the IT department for for all my technology mistakes and whatnot. By the way, Abe is my IT department. At least that's the joke we have in the office. Is he fixes all my stuff when it actually inconveniences him, which is exactly what happened today. So, anyways, we are here and we're excited to talk about a conversation that is very important to me, and that's ways to increase in our ROI on PPC leads. And I could have put online leads too, either way. But before we get started, Abe, thank you for putting up with me and my technology. I'm here, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
You had me sweating for a little bit.
Yeah,
It's becoming a full-time job.
yeah, yeah. I know. I get it. I don't even know what to say about it because I don't know how to fix it. So, anyways, you know, increasing ROI on PPC leads. Again, I will also say we could talk about, PPC leads, online leads, whether you're getting leads organically, whether you're getting leads through the Real Leads program with Real Geeks. As a matter of fact, I recommend the Real Leads program. I think it's a great program to generate leads. But whether you're getting them through Real Leads from a PPC standpoint, or you're doing other things that maybe you got some leads organically, or maybe you did some social media ads or something like that. That's what we want to talk about today, is how to improve the ROI. And Abe, the first thing that I think about, or when I monitor the Real Geeks, the Real Geeks Facebook page, or I'm monitoring and reviewing other big Facebook pages in the industry around online leads, or specifically PPC, I hear so many people say, hey, does anybody know of another source or other people that manage PPC? I'm looking to make a shift because I want to improve my ROI. The quality of the leads aren't that good. The conversion's not good. I see this all the time across every platform, every Facebook page that I'm in. What are your thoughts? What's your initial reaction? As a matter of fact, when I said that, Abe, I saw that you had a reaction physically. And what is your thoughts? What's crossing your mind right now?
Well, the first thing is the title. I mean, yeah, this is we're talking about PPC, but this could be any inbound lead.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it could be sell evaluation, it could be Z buyer, home, it could be any lead that you generate that comes inbound to you, whether it's buyer or seller.
Yes.
Second thought is the 5 things we're going to talk about are really what we've seen in our experience is it's usually not the lead source. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's usually not the people generating the leads for you or running the ads for you. Yes, can they differ? Yes, there might be some that are a little bit better than others, but most of the work, most of the problems are going to be stuff that is more internal than external. Which on the one hand is like, yeah, you might not like hearing that because I'm saying it's your fault, right? But the good thing about that is it means you can fix it.
So let's back up for a minute. Why is it not the lead source? And I have thoughts in my mind. I'm just wondering if you had any thoughts in your mind. But why isn't it the lead source?
Well, I mean, to some extent, it could be. There's a small difference between certain companies that run leads and certain ones. They might generate a little bit better as far as quantity, but the underlying factor, the biggest issue, and I think which is going to be number one in our 5 points, is the understanding from the agent's mind what these leads are and what their expectations are of these leads. I think it starts there. That's where the biggest hole, at least in my opinion, is like what do you expect from a lead when it comes in? So if you're out there and I don't know what you're paying 10, 12, 15, whatever, $25, $60 a lead, whatever you're paying, like what is your expectation of that lead when it comes in? I think it starts there. And if you can fix that one area, the rest of it becomes easier and easier.
Yeah. So here's what's on my mind when I say why isn't it the lead source, is because of this. Whatever your next lead, no matter what the lead source is, your next lead is somebody else's dead lead. I can just absolutely promise this is the case. Like your next lead, if you're on this watching me today, and Abe, your next lead, your next online lead is not a new lead. It's a new lead to you, but it's a neglected lead in somebody else's CRM. So let's just say somebody got a lead from Zillow. They got a lead from Zillow and they ran it through whatever CRM they have. That lead says, oh, I'm really not interested in doing anything right now. The agent decided that's not worth their time, so they neglected the lead. That lead's no longer searching within their website, but they're still searching on other websites, and then they find something that they like on the internet, and then they click a button and they say, yeah, I'd like to find more information out, and then that becomes a new lead for another agent. So that the other agent thinks that's a new lead. But the past agent said that lead's not worth anything. So the reality is that these leads are bouncing from agent to agent and source to source. I mean, you could generate a new lead in PPC today, and that lead 3 weeks ago was generated in somebody's Zillow account, and then it was generated in some other. That lead has been actually given to somebody multiple times, and it's come in from multiple sources. So when you think, okay, I've got this one source and it's so great, well, there's another agent across the town that got that same lead from a different source that thinks that lead is terrible. And then if you neglect the lead, you'll then label it as a terrible lead. And then somebody will get it from a totally different source. And then all of a sudden they actually go and write a contract and they're thinking, oh my gosh, this source is so good. This is all a hallucination. As a real estate agent group, let's stop talking about which source is good. Let's talk about getting good at working these leads. So let's dive right into it. So again, that's why I think the lead source is insignificant. And yes, you did say maybe one's a little bit better. I will say this. I bet you if I had an option to use a company like a Real Leads or a company that does it professionally, I bet you they're going to probably, in most cases, they're probably going to outperform maybe somebody that it's not their profession. So there could be a difference. Like I think a professional could probably generate leads a little bit better than an unprofessional and non-professional in that scenario. So yeah, I do agree that it can differ, but the real difference in one's ROI, Robert liked the thought of me using the word hallucination. Yeah, I use two things, Robert. There's sometimes I'll say you're hallucinating, which I think we are as an industry. But the second thing I'll say is sometimes when somebody says, well, I hope it'll get better, then I say you're smoking hopium.
Hopium. I
two
like hopium.
things. Yeah, you like hopium better than
I've used that many a times. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the 5 things though that really, in my opinion, really, and you and I collaborated on as to improving ROI. What's the first one we have? I know it's about expectations, I believe, right?
Yeah, I mean the first one is setting expectations. So as you were just saying, Greg, so you get a lead and you call it new because it just came into you, and then like, wow, these guys, it's a hot lead. They actually convert right away. But what you don't realize is, like you said, this could have been in someone's CRM 5 years ago, right? They came in 5 years ago when these guys were just kicking tires. And then someone else got it 2 years ago when they actually just started really looking around. So setting expectations, like we always try to put leads into our box, right? When we get a lead, we want it to convert immediately.
Yeah.
And then when it doesn't, we blame the lead source. Okay, we blame the advertiser, whatever it is. So I invite you guys to think about, instead of thinking of how hot this lead is or how good this lead is, do some investigating and figure out where they are in the pipeline. Okay, set your expectations to like, look, I'm going to talk, these leads are going to come in, right? And my expectation is, look, I'm going to have a conversation with them and I'm going to figure out where they are in the buying or selling cycle. Okay, and then wherever they are, I'm going to be okay with it. Mm-hmm. Now, when you do that, right, first of all, it's going to be less frustrating, right? You're not going to be angry all the time because, oh my God, this guy's not buying for 2 years. This is the joke of a lead. So number one, it's going to be less frustrating. But number two, what's going to happen is you're going to realize you're going to have better conversations with people. Okay. And then you're going to have this gigantic pipeline of people that, hey, some are going to be buying right now. Some are going to be 30 days out. Some are going to be 90 days out. Some are going to be 5 years out. Okay. But if you put a nurture system in place where you can actually handle people no matter where they are in the buying cycle or selling cycle, now you've got a forever business. It's a never-ending stream of business coming in with a whole lot less frustration.
Yeah. I want to add something to this.
Yeah.
So, like, think about relationships, and like if you went, expectations lead to disappointment. Period. Expectations can lead you to disappointment. You have too high of expectations on someone, then as soon as they don't meet that level, then you're disappointed. It's the same thing with like leads. If you have, I believe we shouldn't even have an expectation on our leads. We should be looking to identify how we can best serve the lead. Our expectations should not be on what is expectations on the leads. We should set expectations for how we handle the leads. So the first call, my expectation should be of myself, that I am going to identify whether or not this person is in the dreaming phase, whether they're in the exploratory phase, or whether they're in a buying phase. And it's one phase is not better than another phase. My expectations of myself is before I leave the first conversation, I want to know exactly what phase they're in. Once I identify their phase, I should have an appropriate system or strategy to either set an appointment, work with them, provide information to educate them, or just provide information so they can continue to dream until they come a little bit further down into the funnel. And you can do that through workflows, advanced search filters, and things like that. We could go into that deeper. We definitely go into it deeper in Real Geeks Mastery, but those are the things that I would be thinking of for the first call. My expectations is about me and how I'm going to actually communicate to them versus having an expectation. My expectations, they're going to buy in the next 30 days. Good luck with that. You'll be disappointed every lead.
Right.
So I think that's a good point, is expectations, Abe. I just think we need to turn the attention a little bit more on ourselves.
Yeah, I like that. And how can I help them based on where they are today?
Yes.
You know, what are their needs?
Yes. If I'm seeking to serve, I'm going to find ways to serve them. If I'm seeking to be served, they are not spending any time trying to figure out how to serve me. But if we seek to serve them, the law of reciprocity will kick in. I'm telling you, you will set a ton of appointments if you approach it that way.
Absolutely. Number two.
Number two we have is connect with more leads on the front end. Gosh, you and I have just said this for years. While everyone's sitting here saying, which I believe, speed to lead, man, speed to lead's important. And I think the faster you can get to the lead and it's human, that's even better. But if you can't get to a lead, I think using automation to get to the lead is second best. But I think human to human, getting there fast will help your conversion significantly. It'll significantly improve it. But there's one area that we have tracked that we know changes ROI forever. And that is in this one. You've got to improve the ratio of number of leads that you've captured to number of leads you've actually had a conversation with. So if you're getting PPC leads, you're probably getting some leads. You're getting a lead at some point when you're in a meeting and you can't get to them. And then you call them and you have to leave a message. And then you wait for them to call you back. And then they don't call you back. 2 days goes by. You call them or call them again. And there's a certain amount of leads that you never talk to. That kills your ROI. So instead of focusing on, well, how many leads I capture to how many leads go to contract, think about how many leads do you capture to how many leads you talk to. And then you'll work the conversion between number of leads you've talked to number of leads that you set appointments with. And then number of leads that set an appointment with that go to contract. The trying to track captured to contract is a waste of time. There's multiple ratios that you have to look at between capture and contract. And the main one is captured and contact.
Yeah,
What
this
can
is
you
the one
add to
area.
that?
Yeah, this is the one area, Greg, where you can see the most improvement.
Yes.
Like you can easily triple, quadruple, 5, even 7x your volume of business by fixing this one area.
Yes.
So like you said, instead of focusing on your capture to contract, okay, what percentage of my leads am I converting, which everybody looks at, and people will throw out numbers from 1% to 3, 4, 5% if you're really good. Okay, but no one talks about that only about 10 to 15% of every single lead generated is ever spoken to.
Yes.
Okay?
And we're talking about physical, like a voice, not automation.
Right.
Not automation.
Yeah. On average, we talk to 10 to maybe 15% if you're really good or really aggressive in reaching out to leads. So what if you took that number from 15% to 30 or 45 or 75%? Now you're talking about a 5x of the number of people you talk to, which is automatically going to give you more deals. So to me, that's where the biggest leakage is in your ROI.
Yes.
You don't need more leads. You just need to talk to the more the ones that you got.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why we have workflows, right? So like there's a workflow in Real Geeks that is no contact after first attempt. It's just simple. It's like you made an attempt, you didn't contact them, put them in that workflow. Now, again, some people are going to say, yeah, but what about the chat function? And what about the AI? And all of those technologies are fantastic. The challenge that I have with technology is not technology, it's agents will hide behind it. If I give an agent a technology that works for them so they don't have to do the work, then the agent will take the easy route typically and never make the physical call. They will think, okay, well, there's this, I got them in a workflow, or I've got them in the AI, tool. I've got them, in these different tools. And they're like, okay, like those tools will convert them. I guess it's better than nothing. But if you want to increase your ROI, you let those tools help you identify somebody who's available. Like if an automatic text goes out or chat message goes out and they respond, pick up the phone and call them. They've got their phone in their hand. Call them. That's where your capture to actual contact ratio goes through the roof. Instead of like what most people are doing is they're sitting on the sideline watching this stuff go back and forth, and they're not where the real opportunity was. The phone's in their hand, call them right this second. You do that. Do that for 30 days with all your PPC leads. For the next 30 days, anytime you see somebody respond, you call them. Call them speed to lead, you call them. When you see if they're in a workflow or in some of the AI tech and they're actually communicating, you pick up the phone and call them. Do that for the next 30 days and tell me what the increase of number of appointments are. And all of a sudden you'll be adding to your PPC budget, not thinking about eliminating it. There is tremendous returns. The returns are not from the lead source. It's not from the lead manager. It's from the agent and their processes. All right.
Okay. Number 3.
Yeah. Ooh, monetizing the nose.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, monetizing the nose. And I was one that was taught early on, like make contacts and go after the yeses. But then I one day I woke up in my mind and I'm like, I was in my head and I was like, I get way more no's than I get yeses. How can I start monetizing the no's? Excuse me. And the way that we did it was building the database, right, Abe? I'll let you take over because I got a little tickle in my throat.
Yeah. I mean, this is something you taught me early on in my career, and I can't even imagine a different mindset than trying to monetize a nose.
Yeah.
Right. Because no matter what your lead source is, whether it's inbound lead, whether it's circle prospecting, whatever it is, you're going to get an overwhelming majority of either no, or not now, or not ready, or not yet, or whatever. You're going to get a lot more no's than you're going to get some immediate yeses. Okay. So when you start thinking about, okay, let me go ahead and figure out, okay, if not now, then when? Okay, and then putting them into some sort of drip system or nurture program or CRM or whatever it may be, some sort of follow-up system. So whenever they're ready, you're there. It changes your business altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got you call this a data bank instead of a database.
Yeah.
Now you've got a data bank. At any given moment, you could go into your CRM, go into Real Geeks, and be able to withdraw deals at any time because you've taken all these people that were no's at some point, okay, and you've been patient with them throughout the whole time, and whenever they become a yes, they're there waiting for you.
Yep. Yeah, and so a lot of people, like, they hear no or not now, and it's like rejection, like they reject that lead, right? When going back to the earlier part of the conversation, a no just means they're not ready, not now. But they're usually in a dreaming phase. The no's and the not nows are just, they're either dreaming or exploring. And you have not written a contract with a buyer lead that did not go through the process of dreaming and exploring before they actually purchased. Now, we may have got lucky. They went into our competitor's database. The competitor neglected them while they were in the dreaming phase. So by the time they got to the buying phase, they abandoned the agent because the agent first abandoned them. So they went to another website, and then the new agent was like, "Oh my gosh, I got another lead! I'm so excited!" It's like a new relationship in a honeymoon phase. I'm so excited about my new lead. I'm going to treat this lead like I love them, and I'm going to love them forever. They love on them like a new relationship. And it just happens that person is a buyer now. And they convert. So your yeses is somebody else's no's. The key is we monetize the no's by continuing to build our database and nurture the no's so they are eventually a yes for us and not a yes for the person across the road, across the street. Every new lead you got is somebody old lead. Every dead lead is alive for somebody. Every lead that's not responding is talking to another agent. Every lead that's not active on your site is searching actively on another site. We need to keep them on our site. We need to nurture them even when they're a no. And if we give them attention when they're a no, they will give us attention when they're a yes. What's number 4?
Look for multiple deals with every single deal.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that one?
Yes. I mean, I see this all the time, being mostly a listing agent, like someone will own multiple properties here in town and an agent will list one of their condos, but then doesn't ask him, do you have any other ones you would like to get on the market? So then I'm talking to the owner, and then, he tells me I want to sell this condo. And then I put him on the market, realized that he already had another one already on the market, but that agent never asked him. So there's an opportunity to get multiple deals with every single person. So dig deep, find out if you're working with sellers, find out what they own, find out why they're selling, find out if they have other properties that they're considering selling. Okay, and then when you have a seller, see if they're looking to buy something when they do sell. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. There's been many times where I don't know if agents get excited and just go for that one deal and not even think about that I can generate more leads or do more business than just one deal with a potential customer. But I think a lot of deals are left on the table by not digging a little bit deeper.
Yeah, it's so simple questions. So I just had a conversation with agents in my office, and that was, asking people, I'm just kind of curious, why are you buying? Yeah. Well, I need a little bit bigger house. Well, I'm going to make an assumption when they say that, then they have a smaller house that they need to sell. Or let's just say, I remember training people that were doing open houses, and I said, when somebody comes into the open house, one of the things that you should say is like, hey, my name's Greg, nice to meet you, Abe. Well, congratulations. I assume you already sold a house, and are you and looking to purchase another one? Is that correct? Now, what they'll do is they'll say something like this: oh, no, we don't own anything else. We're just renting right now. Or yes, well, we haven't sold it yet. We're just looking for something to see if we can find something that we would want before we list it. Or yes, it's actually under contract now and we need to find something. Just by me making the assumption that they already sold, they'll correct me and actually tell me exactly where they are. You'll be amazed to see how many buyers you have need to sell something, but the agent just never asked. Never asked.
And then ask for referrals. You can ask for a referral at pending, and then ask for another referral at closing.
Yes. That's right. All right. So the last one?
Last but not least is skills, right? This is the one area where you can never, ever stop working on.
Yeah. And, it's not like what script is the best script. It's really not about that. It's what's really important is get a little bit better about how you ask a question. Like one of the things that I believe is we should, when we're dealing with a buyer, we should ask, I'm just kind of curious, why are you purchasing? And what's inspired you to actually consider a purchase in Myrtle Beach? What's inspired you to consider a purchase in Missouri, wherever you are? Like that one question, that's what I'm talking about skills, is like the skills of asking one additional question or a question a different way. And then they're going to say, oh, well, we just want to move to a warmer weather. Okay, fantastic. And I'm assuming you already sold a property in Missouri, or what's the status of your current property? You see how that right there, that one question versus most people are going into, well, how many bedrooms? How many baths? What's the square foot? Do you need a garage? It's like the skill of asking questions, and skills could cross many, many, many different levels here. But if you want a higher ROI, you manage your expectations. That'll help. You sit here and you make sure you improve your capture to contact ratio. Talk to more people. The people that actually say no understand that they're just in the dreaming phase, that it really means no, not now, but they will give us an opportunity in the future if we continue to nurture them. And then we talk about our skill. It's like, okay, if we're going to be talking to more people and you improve your skills just a little bit, then that's compounding on top of each other. Not only do I talk to more people, but I actually convert more of the people that I talk to. It's kind of like a compounding interest. Our ROI issues will be corrected internally with you, the agent, not externally through the lead source. All right, Abe. I think that's the point for today. All right. Well, if any of you have any questions or thoughts, please put them in the comment section on the Facebook page, the Real Geeks page. We'd love to to answer those questions later on. And Abe, thank you again.
Enjoyed it.
All right. Bye-bye.